You know, I saw a trailer for this movie and I was wondering why they didn't release it in 3D. Like, that would be crazy if they released it in 3D, right? It'd immerse you more. No. You release this movie in 3D in theaters, ushers have one job, and that is to mop vomit. That's what it is now. So I get it. Hardcore Henry. So Hardcore Henry is a movie that was filmed completely in first person. Like from beginning to end, this is a first person action movie. Long story short, the movie starts out, Henry wakes up on a table, he's been reconstructed, and he now has to go on a quest, a first person action quest, to save his girlfriend from an asshole. The gist of it, and this is a unique experience for a movie. Absolutely. You can't even deny that. Like the movie, hate the movie, unique is the word that you would choose to describe it. This is what this movie reminded me of. Hardcore Henry reminded me of Crank if Crank was filmed in the first person, had a lot more action, a lot more shooting, a lot more hand-to-hand combat, and a lot more killing. So basically the first-person action video game you think the movie is. In that, the movie is really light on character. I mean, really, the only character that you know and get to know in the movie is Charlotte Copley, who once again is awesome. Dude was great in this movie. I think he's a good actor. He's a great actor in most anything I've seen him in. This is no exception. But really, Henry has nothing. Henry has no real character. There's no real depth. His motivation's very simple. Like, woman I love has been kidnapped, gotta save woman I love. But I get why they did it that way, because Henry is you. Henry's me. Henry's anyone who's watching the movie. The movie being in first person, you're supposed to be projected into the movie as Henry. So when you give Henry too much backstory and you put him in a box, it's harder to see Henry as you now. Granted, the argument stands where it's like, well, first person video games do have their main character who have more character than Henry has. Don't know what to say. That's just my assessment. I believe that's why they didn't give Henry a lot more character than they gave Henry. That's like me saying the sun is bright. Like it or hate it, that's just the assessment of the sun. But the action's pretty solid, especially by the end. Everything levels up in here, and that's how you know it's inspired by video games. There's actually a mission in this movie where Henry has to take out a building full of troops. This elevator is slowly going down. This open elevator has someone in it, so it's like, all right, Henry, take out all the baddies, but don't let them hurt the guy in the elevator. I mean, that's video game 101. Take out all the bad guys, protect the one guy, don't let them hurt him. I mean, I've seen that in 100 video games. The action does get jarring at times. I mean, when the intensity is coming at Henry, and Henry is looking that way, grabbing guns, hitting people, stabbing people, really just do this, and then do that, and know that action's happening around you, it gets a little jarring. You're like, ah, okay. That's why this movie's not in 3D. But it is a cool world that they've built in Hardcore Henry. I don't know when this movie takes place. I imagine it's in the near future sometime this century, but I thought it was cool. I don't want to tell you too much about what is in this world, but you can tell, I mean, the sequel's probably going to have more of what you saw glimpses of in here, and it probably is going to be a fun time. And that's what I can say about this movie. This movie is a fun time that is not for everybody. If you enjoy video games and you enjoyed the movie Crank, you like that kind of adrenaline intensity, this is your movie, man. You have fun. It's a unique experience that puts you in the first person of a revenge quest, and that road scene that you've seen in the trailers, that was my favorite scene in the movie. It's a ridiculous time. That's also a fun time. You know your taste in movies. If you assess that this is your thing, you go watch this movie. I will say Hardcore Henry is a great time. No alcohol required. All right, guys, so Hardcore Henry, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite ridiculous action movie out there? We're talking favorite ridiculous. Terminator 2 is not ridiculous, friends. It's not. It's real. But whatever you think, whatever it is, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.